Do you think that the final girl is kind of like this rewriting of the way the white woman symbolizes like the sanctity of U.S. nationhood that we saw portrayed in westerns, but for like a new generation, right? Like in the post-Western era, do you think the final girl is kind of like this rearticulation of like the famous manifest destiny angel like being threatened and overcoming and defending herself as a stand-in for defending like the settler state, or is that a stretch?
The fact that this figure still keeps coming up shows that white women play a really important psychological or play a really important psychological part in the settler psychology, I guess is the way to say it. And yeah, what's interesting is those narratives that we see in like the Searchers, for example. The Searchers takes from the captivity narrative, from that plot that predates the Western. So yeah, this notion of like the white woman held captive by at first the Native American and then Michael Myers is just a trope that continues and seems to continue to serve an important purpose. Even though the stories shift around a little bit, the fact that fundamental convention has continued across time tells me something alarming is happening or something alarming isn't happening.
It makes me think that like some of the first films about Native people were always westerns, like the movie Battle of, I think it's Mulberry Gulch, which is a film that was, I'm trying to think of that guy's name. He did a Birth of a Nation. He's the KKK guy. I can't remember his name at the top of my head.
We've purged it from our minds.
I don't know.
As an act of healing.
Yeah, it's weird because like I took this culture theory class and they were talking. We had to watch Birth of a Nation, and the guy was the professor was like, "Oh, these scenes are so wonderful," and I was like, "This is violent Klan propaganda. Like, what are you talking about?" But anyways, these kind of early silent films, there's a lot of westerns in them, but also I think in your work you point out that there's also a lot of like horror that has like Native themes, and it's almost as if these two kind of genres of film and entertainment or just genres of fiction kind of emerge, and they're almost inseparable in some ways in the US and Canada, at least US horror, because it seems to be very much ingrained, like as you're saying with like the final girl, it's like very much has colonial origins.